May the Most High Creator bless us. I didn't come on YouTube to make friends or anything like that. Although it is a beautiful thing to make, because that's what we're here to do, man. We're here to link with each other, all right? We all play an important role in this life, you and I. And for the sake of that, I continue to pump these videos regardless of how many views or whatever that is, you know what I mean? Anything I get, I don't care about that, man. I just want people to, pay attention and pay heed, because this all ties in. And this is a battlefield, and I'm gonna keep going hard because that's what I do. I was made for this. I'm a spiritual warrior, consistent with a message. All right, truth seen beyond the veil. Not to save everybody, but a few that I can, spiritually and physically, if I could. A message of warnings, despite my efforts. Like I said, fall on short ears by the masses. You humans always laugh now and cry later. Before I get into my personal experience about this, which I always do and delete messages, but it's here nor there, I would like to say that the ancients knew about the shadow being linked to the soul and where we are as of today, because they wrote many warnings. This has nothing to do with religion. This was in every different text that you can in different diasporas of the world. I'm gonna continue. In the Thebans book of Coming Forth by Day, which is ignorantly called the Book of the Dead, because see, in mysticism, and people get scared a lot. The normal people get scared a lot, the ones who are blind, okay? In the book Annie, in the papyrus of Annie, he prays for his Ba, his Ku, and shadow may not be shut in the other world, the world of the dead, okay? Because the shadow is tied dearly to the soul, and humans, the soul and the shadow are so close together that we humans get it mixed up with each other. That's how close it is, the spirit body. And I'm gonna keep going in. All right, so he prays for his body, spirit, and shadow may not be shut in the other world. Here reads a passage: "O keep not captive my Ba, which is my soul, or keep not ward over my shadow." These are shadow wardens, okay? Wards of shadows. This is particularly called the Hat Man, which is many of them. This is it's like a legion of these things. It's not just one, okay? The spirit world is infinite. There are millions of these things, just like humans are. And the hooded figure. We're gonna get deeper into where we are. You remember Lil Uzi wasn't afraid to tell people literally, kind of literally, where we are, okay? So Annie prayed for his shadow, all right? Shadow wardens who hold captive the shadows of the dead who work evil against me, lest they not work evil against me. It also says, "Thou shalt have dominion over thy legs, and thou shalt advance to the body straightway in the earth." These passages are important because, one, there were believed to exist certain evil shadows who would do harm to their fellow shadows if they could. Your soul and your shadows are one. There's black magic. People do it here. They get rich here. They get benefits here. They do it to people in their neighborhoods here, okay? And two, the shadow was associated with the soul. The shadow had the power to move about and go where it liked, and the difference between the spirit body and the shadow is so slight that humans confuse the two because our shadows are linked with our soul. This is what happens during so-called sleep paralysis. An evil shadow warden grabs onto your shadow as it rests, and it lays upon the light body and tries to snatch it. Okay? Because we are like the yin and the yang. We are both negative and positive, light and darkness, okay? And I'm going to keep going in. Do you know if your shadow was stolen from you through black magic and different sources, through these beings right here that I'm showing in front of you? Do you know that you will get sick and you will die? Another book that literally gives you The passages are in the Bible, in the Christian Bible too. All right, it says, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death. Like I said, these shadow wardens are shadows of death. Okay, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I shall fear no evil, for you are thy rod and thy staff, thy comfort me. Thy comfort me. So basically, they also say that they know that these shadows of death, we are in the land, the valley of the shadows of death. Okay? These things are everywhere, and I'm here to warn. I'm that spiritual warrior that chose this path to warn people about things that's going on. 2020 should have showed us a long time ago, but I'm gonna keep going in. All right? Man is connected to the light. The further away from the light source, the more your soul becomes darkened and corrupt. And first your eyes shapeshift, then you could fully morph into that reptilian thing, all right? So even in the old Peter Pan cartoons and stuff, there was episodes that he got his shadow stolen, and then he got sick and he was about to die until later on he got his shadow. See, the thing is, there are witch doctors all around. Look like you and I, man. That's why unfortunate things happen a lot. Even when you die of natural or unexpected death through things that you may do or accident, these things are out there waiting. It doesn't matter if you know the Bible back or forth or any text back and forth. What matters is that you know that you have a higher power above you, and that thing is stronger than anything going on around you, and it shows who you are in real life. You just can't say, yeah, my spirit is this, and then it's kind of a lot. Put it like this. We'll see. You know what I mean? We'll see who's who when that time comes, because this thing is laugh not, cry later, as I say. So what does this have to do with you and I mess with a girl named Jackie, right? And Jackie did black magic. What ended up happening is Jackie was hurt by this man that she went to this church with. She used to go to this church, and she was angry with him. And I knew, because I knew Jackie for some years through a mutual friend, and we ended up bumping into each other at night in 2007, I believe. And Jackie invited me up to her condo, like on a 20-something floor. So I ended up going up there, and I wanted to spend the night with her, get down or whatever. So Jackie ended up telling me, like, yeah, and he hurt my heart, and I wanted him dead. I wanted him to be killed, but I didn't want blood on my hands. So what I did was, this is when Yahoo was popping. So she got on Yahoo and she joined a black magic club on Yahoo, and they explained to her, in a couple of weeks what to do, to conjure up demons and to send them out to do your bidding. So what Jackie did was she got a couple of these tools. She had a black magic book, and she had a Ouija board, and she waited till the witch's hour, and it was dark, the darkest room in her house, and she went in there and she performed the sigils through this book, you know what I mean, explaining where to go with it. So she said that she's telling me all this, and I'm like, damn, because she was doing her homework at the same time. She was going to Chicago State. So she ended up doing the spell, continuing to do it, writing the sigils in her ear. And she said smoke started appearing with her fingers through the air, and she was doing the sigils, and she said she thinks she messed up or something, and like a gang of these things started coming out, these things right here. And she said they were looking at her and they just vanished, right? And I was like, yo, that's crazy. So dang. So she continued to tell me that she couldn't do the spell or whatever because she stopped and she was scared. So she threw the Ouija board, she dipped it off, and she dipped off the book or whatever. when she saw these shadow smoke portal open up, and she did all this, man, and they vanished on her, and didn't start appearing until like a little later. And she said sometimes she get visits by some, man, and she is like, sometimes they come, so I'm warning you now. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. But I was like, man, none of that's gonna pop up with me here. You know what I mean? I'm on that, like, whatever. So the night get further on, I slept with Jackie, and we laid in a bed, right? So how it is on the left side, the right side of me, I'm sorry, is the bed, and the left side is the door. It's a hallway with lights on there. The windows and everything are closed, and it has central air, so it's one of them condos where it's like luxurious looking. The windows can't open up because she's so high up. So we laying in the bed, and she in my arms. She on the right side laying in my arms, and I'm on the left side of her. And to the left side of me is the door. So the door cracked open, and it made me wake up. I'm like, what's going? I got up. I looked at the time. It was 3 a.m. So I lay back down. I see the door move, and it pulled back. What got me is when it pulled back, because I could expect like a little draft, push it or whatever, and it pulled back. So I'm like, oh no. So I see a shadow coming in, and I'm like, nah, man, this a home invasion. You know what I mean? I live in Chicago, so I'm like, damn, it's a home invasion. It's a burglar coming in. So the shadow creeping in, and then the shadow getting bigger and bigger. So now I'm like, damn, it's two people in the house. So the room is dark, pitch dark. So I could move around slow. What I had in mind is I'm finna move around, and soon as the burglar come in, I'ma grab the gun or whatever and try to fight for my life. But then when the shadow got bigger, I was like, damn, it's more than one person. I thought it was more than one person. So I had to stop and really peep my move. Yeah, Kelsey, hold on, sweetie. Hold on. So I had to really stop and see my moves. But then I'm like, hold on, the shadow is getting bigger and bigger. But why is nobody coming in after the shadow? So I slowly get up because I got impatient and antsy. So I got up like, all right, I'm going to move slowly and look behind me to see what's going on or who at the door. And then I turned around and looked, and I couldn't see the lights in the hallway. So I'm like, what's going on? Why it's so dark? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a dark I ain't never seen before. It was like so dark. It was like purple dark. And then I looked up even further, and it's because it's this thing right here. Is this is what you call they call the Hat Man. This thing was about 7 to 8 foot tall, man. It had to duck to get under the door to come in, and all you see is this darkness. It was darker than the night itself, and it was just like this. And you see all the shadows coming up off of him. Those are souls, and his hands was just like that. And I look up at his body with the jacket, and those beady eyes, those two little lights as eyes, man. And it was smelling like sulfur and gasoline, hideous, ugly. And I was like, yo, what the fuck is this? And I turned back around and sunk into my the bed, Jackie bed, and I laid there holding the sheets like, oh shit, what the fuck is this? And it came in, and it came right by my waist, right? And you could hear the chains on the it had not like no crazy chains, but it had on like boots with like little chains on there, and it was heavy. All right, there are many of these things. The spirit world is infinite, is many of these things. Like, just like human beings, there are races of these things and different more. All right, the shadow is linked with the soul. So, and these are shadow wardens. So this shadow warden, the Hat Man, the one they call the Hat Man or Jack, came in to my side on my waist, just breathing, smelling stink of gasoline. And this thing is ugly. This darkness is darker than the night itself, man. And you could just see these little glowing white eyes just through the darkness. You can't see a face. It's no face. It's just darkness. and the eyes looked like reptile eyes, and like you could tell it just looked like it could be, it just reek of evil and death, man. I was like, nah, it's something in here that's pure evil. You can feel it, you know what I mean? It's just that the body can't, it's slow to catch up with the spirit. Your spirit can feel it, tap in, you know what I mean? And if, I don't know if you can notice, but within the darkness is a zipper right there. So when this thing came in, it was so heavy, it felt like it weighed a ton. It was tremor in the ground when it walked, like doof, doof, doof. Kelsey, stop, okay? And it was doof, doof, doof. And then it when it turned and it was looking around the room, all these things started, you see the faces of souls, of the shadow souls of people, and it was begging for help, and it was going around the room begging for help, like, help me, help me, help me. Some were crying, some were screaming, some were angry, cussing for help and all of that. And when it looked back at it, the souls would get quiet, and it would come after, it would go back into the neck, the back of it. It was nasty, man. And it was like, it was sad to see, because those were souls of humans. You could tell it was souls of people, because the shadow and the soul is connected. All right. So this thing walked. When it was started to turn, the jacket zipped down. It zipped down even more, and it opened, and the flesh, it started bubbling and boiling, and it boiling blood and guts and stuff. And then it revealed a cage, like a cell cage stuck from the neck going down to the groin area. And I was like in amazement, like closing my eyes and opening it, trying to watch it, like, yo, is this real? Wake up, wait. And I was awake, you know what I mean? I'm like, yo, trying to tread lightly, because this thing, I ain't want it to like throw me out the window or something with its strength. It was, this thing, you could tell it was strong. So he went to our feet by the foot of the bed and just kept staring at us, watching us. And then the soul started extending again, coming up, oozing around the room. Help me, help me. And he was looking around at that, and then it was oozing back in him again. And his eyes turned from white to red, like to pure red, you know what I mean? Like laser eyes. And then he came back towards my side by me. And when he was coming, I was like, oh shit, what the fuck he gonna do now? I was so scared, right? So he started coming towards me, and a little fire lit up in his stomach. And then it revealed the light, and it was a whole bunch of intestines and stuff. And it was like little souls in there running around being burnt and all that, man. And one was sitting down on an intestine, drinking on a little, I kid you not, drinking on a little small pony bottle of liquor that was a green bottle that said XXX on there. And one was holding on to the cage in the front of the belly of this demon, and it was saying to me, don't end up like me, don't end up like me, I'm in here forever, I'm in here forever, with wide dark eyes, shadowy dark innocent eyes, like their soul has been burnt by these things, and it's just running around. And this thing was like, don't end up like me. And it read my mind, man. I was like, is there any saving you? He was like, there is no saving me, I'm in here forever, I'm in here forever, don't end up like me. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? And he came right back next to me, and he yelled out in a beastly voice and screamed, and all the souls stretched out and went back in him, and he vanished. He reappeared a couple of feet above me and came down on my stomach, and his foot was inside my stomach. Like supernaturally, it was inside my stomach, and he was pushing, and then he kept going in like further, trying to get inside of me. And what ended up happening is he came down with so much force, I pushed Jackie, and she flew off the bed onto some weights that was on the right side of the bed. And I squeezed with all my might in my stomach, and it pushed it out. Like something pushed that thing out with all my strength. And I was tired, man. I was after she was like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And I cut the light on, and I looked at the time. It was 3:30, and I was like, "Man, that shit you was talking about earlier is still here with you." And I put my stuff on, and I'm in Chicago in the hood. I was over east. I'd rather go out there and get approached by the killers than deal with this thing. You hear me? This thing is beyond that. You know what I mean? I was so scared. I didn't want it to follow me and stuff like that and come after me. Like, that's some other stuff. This thing was unbelievable. And what ended up happening is it did. You know what I mean? It started coming after me, and I started getting nightmares and a lot of visions of the future of events and stuff was going on. My spiritual eye was like awakened by this. And they revealed a lot of stuff, man. This thing have these shadow warnings have mansions, you know what I'm saying? And I was approached by this one. I found out that there were many of these things. There was more than one. They be stuck together, growling like wolves and stuff like that. They are very beastly, I'm telling you, these shadow wardens. And then they couldn't get me. My soul ended up like escaping, and I ended up like seeing like how they sacrifice people in the past, and it was real deep. But then these things move like the mob. All right, they want your shadows as well as just like your soul. Your soul is your shadow as well, man. It's the negative part of you, man. You got to pray for that too. People just shut it in the back of their minds, and you know, you can tell in real life, 2020, everything is coming to revealing. And then they couldn't get me, so they sent the higher ones. They sent these hooded figures. Now these hooded figures are like sharks, man. They got claws as hands, and the same thing with their face. It's the face of darkness, but you can see these little two things in the middle like look like eyes, man. But these things are, oof. Like I said, shadow wardens, their death. When they come in, you can feel it. But this is how I ended up seeing my soul. This one entered my dreams. They have different abilities. And this one entered my dream 3 nights in a row. Woke up in cold sweat. And I kept having a dream. I was taking a train with my guy. And we kept getting off on 95th on the red line, man. And it ended up being a dark feeling. Like when this one came in real life into the room, this one came, but it didn't show up until the 3rd night when it attacked me in my dream and I had the vision. The first one, it was a sense of panic. Like everyone wanted to get on a bus and get out of Dodge, you know what I'm saying? Get out the area. And we were all trying to wonder why, you know, but we felt it. And then everyone would stop. We would look around. And then the 2nd night I had the vision. I kept telling my guy, man, I think martial law is coming. I think this is what it's about. And he was like, damn. I was like, man, this is the 2nd night I had this dream. But this time we were fighting. Everyone was fighting. And we punched this I punched this old man. I kicked him down. My homie like elbowed this old man in the face. Everyone was in panic to get on the bus. And we all stopped, and something came out the air in the 3rd one, you know what I mean? And yo, that's when I seen my soul, man. And my soul like came, and it literally was magnificent, man. So we have things to be bestowed about. In the next world, I'm trying to tell you all, it's much better than this. But not only that, man, you have to realize where we are. We in the valley of shadows of death. And we working for the system. That's the true shadow government. May the Most High Creator of all bless us. This is part 1.